Hello and welcome. Welcome to another Solution Sunday, because the soul, the grand being of light you are, is the solution, recognizing the power that you have. Today, I am Lisa Warner. Every day, I'm Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing, which is now in its 10th anniversary edition. And today, I am here with my friend Jennifer Nelson Hawks. Jennifer is a dedicated advocate of natural medicine and holistic health and wellness. Jennifer's passion for helping others started at a young age when she saw firsthand the power of natural medicine. After spending the first decade of her career in traditional medicine, Jennifer became disheartened by the Band-Aid approach to symptom management and began her journey to holistic health and wellness. With years of education and experience, she is now a board-certified doctor of naturopathy, bioresonance practitioner, and iridologist. In 2013, she founded a full functional holistic wellness center and now solely focuses her full attention on Jennifer Hawks Health, where she provides a safe space for women to take back their health naturally and uncover the root cause of their health illnesses. Jennifer is committed to helping women achieve a healthier, happier version of themselves by living through the power of their own health. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. When someone else reads it, I'm like, wow, okay. Thank you for having me on here today.
It is a pleasure. It's always wonderful to connect with people who are awake and aware and see what's going on in the medical world and the power that we have ourselves to change things. So today we were having a little conversation about technology. So we were going to talk a little bit about the technology of health. So let's just start with you. When with this, it says your passion for helping others started at a young age when you saw firsthand the power of natural medicine. So what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? So, started back, my little sister was born at 1 pound, 12 ounces. And so I watched Western medicine keep her alive. I mean, it was truly a surreal situation. But when she was 5 years old, she started having seizures. And that's when Western medicine did not have anything to offer my parents anymore. And they were able to turn to natural medicine, through lifestyle, through diet, through the things that we now talk about today. But back then, I mean, this was 30-ish years ago. It was kind of outside of the box. You didn't go to natural doctors to get healthy. You went to the doctor because that's what you did, and they would give you a prescription of this or that. And I mean, that still happens today. But I saw in real time where my sister's seizures that were being controlled by health and food and diet changed the entire perspective for me. And that's really when my seed was planted for natural healing and health, because I knew that if we were able to give the body what it needed, it could heal itself, right? So this is not really about stating that, okay, if you do this, you're going to heal, you're going to be healed, but it's part of that recipe. And so as I went through school, and I went through the path of least resistance, which was not natural health at the time. So I went through college, and I started working in functional medicine with medical doctors. And when I was 30 years old, I had recently gotten married, and my husband said, "Are you sure that this is what you want to do?" And I said, "You know what? No, I want to do more natural stuff." And he said, "You know what? Right now is the time. We can pivot. We have time. We have a little bit of, money to be able to put you through school. I'll hold the fort down." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah,
Wow.
let's do it." So I was able at that time to pivot into what I knew to be in my heart true to me, and what where my seed had been planted, my tree started growing. So we talked about in the little intro, my bio, the full functional wellness center that I had,
Yeah.
which I did. I use, and I still do use, technology to help support the body, mostly at vibrational levels. Because we also have technology, and you and I were talking about now, where we have these amazing technologies. We have our cell phone, we have Wi-Fi, we have Zoom, we have all the things. And as we can't ignore them because they are part of evolution. They are part of growing and being able to do the things we love to do. But we also have to make sure that, because those are man-made radio waves, they are disrupting the integrity or the balance or vibration of our own human bodies. And so my full functional wellness center was based on how do we bring ourselves back into balance, using some technology, because some people couldn't do it on their own.
Yeah. It's quite amazing that, the role that technology plays on the planet at this time, and, how absorbed we become in technology, whether it is by watching TV or movies or, whatever that is, or, having the Apple Watches or, whatever that is. When we start to look at what's actually going on this planet, we are creator beings and we create what we focus on. And through technology, our consciousness is basically harnessed and then directed. And where we direct our consciousness is what we create and generate as our reality.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I can't, I mean, I was saying this earlier, that if I have the chance to not have my cell phone, right, I feel like I can actually focus on the things I need to focus on, because I'm not worried about texting and calling and all the things. But then I go to grab it and I feel that anxiety. I feel that sense of like pressure. It's pressure. It's about, okay, I have to now text all these people back. I have to look at my emails. Oh, and not forget social media, because I have to see if people are, if I need to respond to somebody there, or like it's become this chore, right? But we can't really get away from it. So it's a matter of like, how do we juggle it?
Yeah.
How do we, the new phones, iPhone, I don't know about other Android, but I know iPhones now, they now have that like do not disturb or the focus button, so they're trying, but I think we have to really come within ourselves and start creating boundaries around technology.
For sure. Because life is not meant to be a chore. Like you were just saying, we are meant to be free and happy and healthy. But when life starts to become a chore, it's like, and, we get heavy and we get darker, our light stops shining. And then as soon as our light stops shining, our health begins to deteriorate.
Oh, I can't even begin. I can't agree with that more. I can't agree with that more. And that's why I really do love forest bathing. Most of us have heard that. It's basically just getting out in nature and grounding, getting away from those external sources of radiation or technology, and truly get into the technology of nature.
Exactly. As humans, we are meant to be part of nature. Like nature itself is a whole ecosystem where everything nurtures everything else. It's all interconnected. But we as humanity have become so disconnected from it. It was like, hey, you got to work 9 to 5, rise your way to the corporate ladder, all of this. And we are not connected to nature anymore. We're so absorbed in that technology I live, and you do too, in a beautiful place in nature. You're in Wyoming, I'm in the Adirondack Mountains. But I in my town, it's a tourist town, but there's beauty everywhere. It's so lovely here. And I can go out walking in the woods, and people will be walking by me like talking on their phone.
Yes.
Like, wait a minute.
Yes. Or they've got their earbuds in.
Right?
Right? They don't even like the trail etiquette doesn't even happen anymore. I mean, we used to, walk down the trail and say good morning or hello, how are you? Like, not necessarily stop and chit chat, but have a brief like interaction with people. Now they've got their headphones on, and I'm like, okay, you're literally now you're getting so much you're getting more direct Wi-Fi by having your earbuds in than you are actually on your phone, just, being in your office. Like, it's people don't understand that 15 minutes of cell phone use can disrupt the brain activity by an hour.
It's amazing, isn't it? And being out on the trails, there used to be just like eye contact,
That's right.
like we
Even eye
would
contact.
see each other and acknowledge each other's existence. Like, hello, how are you? Beautiful day. But now it's like, and
Yeah, and it's interesting. I noticed the younger generations, they don't even smile. I've always, when I walk past someone, I always smile and say hi. I don't have to stop and have a conversation. I just do because it makes me feel good,
right?
right? I mean, if it makes me feel good, it's certainly got to make them feel good. But I notice the younger generation doesn't even smile. And I don't know. I talked to actually, I talked to my cousin and I was like, I want you to like, she was talking about, I'm helping her with just doing a little bit of self-care and self-love. And I said, I want you to, while you're at work today, smile and say hello to people just as you walk by. She's like, absolutely not. And I was like, why would you not do that? She's like, that's embarrassing. I'm like, oh, no, no, that's connection.
Right?
That's human connection. Yeah. She's in her early 20s. But I just think that, they've grown up with a cell phone in hand. They've grown up with, technology. They've grown up with not having to face, like, I remember, I mean, even in school, right? We had to get in little groups and we had to do the role playing because we had to be creative. And, now it's like you just Google all the stuff and you get what you need. And it's just, I feel like everything is just like you're out to win it for yourself. It's not, there's just not a whole lot. And I'm not saying there's not any of that goes on. I'm just saying there's less and less of that goes on.
And we don't really connect that's going on with our health. We wonder why we don't feel well. Like, we wonder why things are the way they are. What's wrong with my body? Well,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with your body.
No.
Your body is following your consciousness. And when your consciousness is like, oh my gosh, I don't like this, I'm not okay, I don't fit in, I'm too embarrassed to talk to somebody, that's what's actually going on with your health.
That's absolutely so true. It's that emotional component, and it's the not just even the emotional component, but the how you perceive. It's the perception, right? Because people around you don't think that way. You think that way,
Right?
right?
Yeah. It's crazy when we look at what's actually going on in the world. We are these beautiful angelic beings who come to earth to have a physical experience. And then we look around, and what's going on this planet is so insane that when we don't fit into the insanity of the world, we just believe that, it is the way it is, things just are insane. That's just normal, not normal at all, people. Then when we can't fit into the insanity, we think that there's something wrong with us.
Well,
or
yeah,
we're even told that there's something wrong with us.
that's right. That's right. I can't tell you how many times I see individuals that come and see me and they say, I've been to the doctor and the doctor just says I'm crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at that. Let's
Yeah.
unfold that.
Right? It's
What
like
does that
that's
look like?
oh,
Yeah,
not
what does that look like? And one of the things I really do love is a lot of people really don't love to do it is journaling,
right?
right? It's not a yeah, it's not about a diary. I tell women every day, it's not about you writing down your deepest, darkest secrets. It's about brain dumping. It's about getting out the feel, the emotion, the senses that just don't serve you.
Right? It's like how I look at it is like when I write things down, I can actually see what I'm thinking. If we don't see what we're thinking, then we just keep thinking and thinking and thinking unconsciously.
That's right. It's a loop. It's a loop. And I had a woman in yesterday and she had written down literally every day how she felt every day for like 2 weeks. And I said, that gave me, as a practitioner, that gave me so much information
Mhm.
because I was like, oh, I see a pattern. She's like, what? And I just kind of brought it to her attention. She's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And what her pattern was a dietary pattern. Every time she would eat this one thing, the next day she would feel terrible. And she like it was so eye-opening for her, but it was 2 weeks of just writing down little things.
Mhm.
Because oftentimes people come in and say, oh, I guess I feel okay. I'm like, okay, well, I noted that you had headaches. Oh yeah, I haven't had a headache now in like since I saw you, I guess. But you just don't connect it until you write it down.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden they're like, I don't feel any different. Nothing has changed. I'm like, okay, well, we do have change, but you got to be acceptant of that change and you have to want the change and you have to understand the change because without change, you don't change.
Exactly. And we're taught that we have to wait for something to change. This thing in the external world has to change first before I can feel better.
Right.
And it's never going to happen because we are the creators. We are the creators of the change. So we have to create the change that we wish to experience.
Exactly right. Oh, so true. And and you also have to be willing and committed, right? You just have to be willing and committed to make the change. So it really does fall back on us.
Right? And it's like we have to choose, saying, I want something to change. I want it to change. I want it to change. Well, that's really not making a choice to change.
Correct. Yeah. And I would say that as evolution has gone through and technology has been there, that little changes can be overwhelming, right? It's so even if it's little changes, people think they have to like change their diet, they have to change their clothes, they have to change their, they go through the list of all the things they have to change. And I'm like, okay, but let's start with one. Let's do one for a couple of days. And then let's change it to something different. And let's start just shifting the vibration patterns in your body. And once those vibration patterns start shifting, you're going to find yourself into a whole new realm of vibration that is uplifting you and creating, a sense of peace and calm and love and happiness. And all, you're going to be able to blossom into the changes that you are truly looking for.
Exactly. And one of the things about um, the medical model today is they don't look at vibration. They don't look at like how people are feeling. They look at what's wrong with your body. It's
Yes.
like we have to understand that how we are feeling isn't about how the body feels. It's about how do we feel as a being. Are we living with fear, doubt, guilt, shame, blame, anxiety, depression? That is clear sign that your body's not going to be operating at optimum capacity, because it can't, because living life force energy is not flowing fast enough through your body. You have shut down the flow of living life force energy.
Yes, absolutely. And that brings me to, I use in my practice, I use bioresonance work. So bioresonance work is really about how do we have a communication with our vibrational being? And if we know how to use the technology the way that it is designed to be used, it will give us those clues, if you will, information. It'll give us the information we need to know of where do we start, right? And so that's just a matter of, in Western medicine, you're looking at something like an EKG or an EEG or an MRI. It's the same type of, it's not really the same technology, but it's the same type of technology. So if you can wrap your head around, okay, yeah, I know an EKG, or I know an EEG, or I know what an ultrasound does, or even an MRI machine, so we're using technology that has been based out of Germany for years to be able to measure different wavelengths of frequency within a healthy human body. And if there is disruption, or if there are two wavelengths that don't match, it's going to bring up a little red flag that says, hey, go check out, go check out your thyroid. Go check out some of these digestive bugs that might be creating a little bit of dysbiosis. Go check out this fear piece that is causing, palpitations. So there's so many variables there. But then what happens is these type of technologies are created to create a feedback loop. So it's giving your body then the positive frequency or the opposite frequency in order to balance that out. And that's where we started out, is how do we create harmony within our own body? And another one are those the biotuning forks, the tuning forks. Do you ever use those?
Yes.
Oh, they're so powerful.
Exactly. Yes. And even, it's summer here in Lake Placid, and we have symphony orchestra, a small symphony orchestra. I go to the symphony every Sunday night so that those frequencies can retune my body. I close my eyes, and I absorb the sound, and I watch the sound interacting with my molecules. And I consciously move that sound through my body to bring everything back into harmony.
That's right. Those sound, like it's kind of like a sound bath.
Exactly. Yes.
I can't agree with you more with that. I mean, that is such a beautiful way to balance out, to harmonize, to ground. Yeah.
Right?
So
like these are natural technologies. Like music is a natural technology. Our bodies are technology. Our bodies are the most highly advanced technology on the planet. They're biological technology.
We just abuse them so much.
Yeah. It's like if anybody knows that, that movie from, Back to the Future with the DeLorean, that time travels and all of that stuff. It's like our bodies are like that DeLorean, but we're operating them like they're Jed Clambett's old jalopy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, when was the last time? I mean, you may, but I know for me, when I feel like I'm getting out of balance, it's so hard. This is really hard for me to do, but I'm learning, is looking at a mirror, looking at your eyes, and talking to yourself with affirmations and saying, I love you.
Right?
I can't begin to tell you how, like, that took me a long time to be truly heartfelt and to say it with 100% confidence, trust, and alignment. It's a hard thing to do, but I think it's so important that if you can't do it, you got some work to do.
Exactly. We've been programmed by this society that to love ourselves or to put ourselves first is selfish.
That's right.
And it's better to give than to receive. And so we end up putting ourselves last, and we give everything to everybody else, and we forget to receive. And then we wonder why our health is out of balance.
That, yes. And it is very interesting because I would say even with myself, I do a fair amount of filling my bucket back up, whether it's going to the lake or whether it's traveling or whether it's, family or whatever that looks like. But I can't tell you how many people sometimes do come to me and say, well, gosh, it would be nice to be able to go to the lake every weekend. Gosh, it would be nice to do this, or gosh, it would be nice to do that. And I thought to myself, why do you have to say that? Like, this is me taking care of me. It's not selfish. Because if I can't take care of me, I'm not going to be able to take care of you. Right?
Exactly.
And so I think it's so important. It's not about being selfish. It's really about being selfless, really.
Yeah, and self-aware. It's like,
Self-aware.
what do I need? What does my body need? What does my soul need? Like, how do I bring body, mind, and soul back into alignment?
What brings
Because,
you joy?
yeah, exactly. It's like we're not here to work through life. Life is not meant to be hard work. It's not meant to be a struggle, but that's what it has been turned into.
Yeah.
And we've allowed ourselves to be programmed into that work mentality. Okay, you're 5 years old. Now you're going to go off to school and you're going to sit here from 8 to 3 every day. So then by the time you finish school, then you're already ready to be in the workforce. So then you can just work all life to barely get by. This is not why we're here, people.
Right. 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 It's so true. It's so true. And just to hear you say that, I'm like, oh, thank goodness I'm not in that space anymore. But right, all the people that are coming up in that space now. And I see more and more homeschooling happen. I see more and more, when COVID hit, um, or the scam, okay, whatever you all want to call it, right? But the term of it. Anyway, we were able to get away a lot more, which opened up so much life for us. But here's why
Right?
I was gonna say this, is because we would camp a lot, but we would meet these families that their kids didn't have to be in school, and they were creating life, right?
Yay.
They were creating a family life together. They were exploring together. It was mom and dad teaching them all the things that they did when they were kids. It was being in nature. It was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Right?
And it was like this time that allowed the world to pause for a second and reflect. Fortunately, most of the people have just gone back to their old ways.
Exactly. Either people just allowed the fear to completely overtake them.
Oh,
And,
yes.
as soon as we're in fear, like we can't, fear makes us stop thinking. Like it cuts off our natural awareness. And then we're just in survival mode, looking for somebody to tell us what to do, somebody to save us. But fortunately, there are so many light workers on this planet. We are here to bring light and life back to this planet. We are here to restore order to the universe. And that little pandemic kind of backfired on the ones who were planning it in many, many ways.
Yes, it did. Absolutely.
Because all of a sudden, we had time to shed some light on where did this come from?
Yes.
Why are they telling us all of these crazy things? Like, and we were able to put the pieces together. And now we have a very clear picture of what's been going on this planet for a really, really long time.
Long time, not just the last couple of years.
Exactly. Thousands of years we have been
Yes.
living in these patterns.
Yes.
Yep.
But thank you for doing the work that you do, because you are some of those people that make the change, right? You are doing the change to make the change. So not everybody can do that. And I just want to say thank you for being able to do that and putting yourself out there to do that.
Well, thank you. And you're doing the same thing. We're all part of the same team. You
Yeah.
know, we are here bringing light and life back to this planet so that we
Yeah.
can live just in peace and harmony. That's really all we ever want, right? Is just to be able to live
Yeah.
on this planet.
Yeah. To truly be able to wake up in the morning, feel refreshed, feel ready to take on whatever brings you joy and love. And hopefully that is the work that you have to do, right? Because the truth is we do have to survive. We do have to pay for food. We do have to pay for, a roof over our head. We do have to have some of those monetary things, but loving doing what you're doing, find something that you really enjoy, because that's going to bring that harmony within you, and you're going to create so much more to that too. And one of the biggest things is, who are you surrounding yourself with?
Exactly. Yes.
That's a big thing, because vibration like sees like. And if you are surrounding yourself with people that are constantly bringing you down, or constantly talking negative, or constantly got this black cloud that's following them, guess what? You're going to find yourself in those same patterns. And if you find yourself around the people that make you laugh and bring you joy, and that you hold their hand or you give them a hug, and you're just like, oh my gosh, an amazing feeling that is. Like, that's where you're also going to find that vibration pattern. And I tell people, especially women, it's the same thing. If you have someone around you that's in their moon cycle, right? Their cycle, that you eventually will end up on the same moon cycle. And that's because of the vibrational patterns. There's a couple of cool videos of like the swinging not pendulums. They're like little balls. Have you seen those? Where they start out completely out of balance, and then after like 40 minutes, everything is just beautiful and dancing, and it's incredible. But it's the visual, right? It's the visual that someone can actually be like, oh, I see how that happens.
Exactly. And it's so powerful to have that awareness, because there are disruptive frequencies being broadcast throughout the collective all day, every day, to keep us out of our natural rhythms. And when we are out of rhythm, there has to be disharmony in our life and in our bodies, because we're out of rhythm. We've got a bunch of disjointed frequencies running through our energy field.
Right. But so many people think a pill is going to be the answer.
Right? It's like,
I
well,
mean, a pill can help with some things, but you've got to find the vibration. You've got to find the balance. You've got to find where you're being pulled. Which direction is it? Which chakra is it? Which meridian is it? What thought is it?
exactly. Yes. We're never taught about energy. We've all heard everything is energy,
From
yet
the
we're
beginning of
never
time.
taught about energy. We're not taught to see energy or notice energy or to understand anything at all about it.
No, no. And then you talk about it, and some people are like, okay, you guys are crazy, because they don't get it. They
Right?
just don't get it. And I just highly recommend, if any of you out there that are listening feel that way, just do a little bit of education. Just do a little bit of, you know, just do a little bit of reading. Open up
Right.
your mind a little, and you'll see you'll see the power of it.
Exactly. It's like we are beings of light, and we're here to really shine our light, to let our light shine. It's so beautiful when we're watching somebody who's really letting their light shine, whether they're, singing on a stage or being an athlete doing their greatest performance, or, like whatever it is.
Yeah, but you can see who those people are. You can just watch it. You literally look at them, and you can see the light radiating from them. And you say to yourself, gosh, they look really good.
Right?
I wonder what they're doing. Right?
Yeah,
That's what they're doing.
right?
They're
It's like,
creating the balance. They're creating the vibrational pattern.
exactly, and light is like lightness, like joy, ease, excitement,
Yeah.
enthusiasm. That's like light. And, the darkness is the depression, the
Yeah.
fear, the doubt. And
The
wherever
heaviness.
you are on that scale, however much light you have shining is going to directly affect your physical body health.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
medical model never acknowledges that. They don't acknowledge any of the non-physical things. They only look at the physical body and say, well, your physical body is broken. There's something wrong with it.
Right. You've got joint pain. Here's a pill.
Right?
You
It's like,
know, you've got headaches. Here's a pill.
right? It's like,
Your
oh,
belly hurts. Here's a pill.
yeah, it's like, oh, that kidney's not functioning. Well, you got two of them. Let's just take out the bad one. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And then the body's overcompensating for energy for a vibration pattern that should be there. And I'm not saying, sometimes people have to get things taken out. Like that's not what I'm talking about. But the body will overcompensate for those frequencies, for those vibrations, those unhealthy vibrations.
mhm,
And sure, sometimes you have to have something removed, but the body will still resonate as if it's there,
right?
right?
And
That
our bodies have the ability to heal everything.
right,
This
right.
technology is the most advanced technology in the universe, but we have no idea that we have the ability to regenerate and rejuvenate and bring everything back into balance. So if we
Yes.
don't know that that is a possibility, then we can't access that possibility.
No, no, that's so true. And just, I know that you have had your own bouts with things, but disease, right? Disease, we get labeled these things. They're not, you do not have to own it.
Exactly.
Absolutely do not have to own it. But then we have these cells that start vibrating in a disruptive pattern, and we get labeled with a cancer. We get labeled with a you know, inflammatory something, fibromyalgia, ALS, multiple sclerosis, all the things.
Mhm.
And we can change. We can change those things around. It depends on what vibrational realm you decide to put yourself in, and how much fear you take along with it, and how much thought you put into it, and how much energy you don't allow to go to those spaces. You know,
Exactly.
sometimes we are our own worst enemy. A lot of the time, actually.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's insane when we just start to look and see how much fear people live in.
Yeah,
And, that fear is being used to control us.
yeah,
Once we start to understand, wait a second, if I'm living in fear, there's someone on the other end of that fear. There's something or someone on the other side of that fear. And
hmm,
I'm allowing that fear to overtake me.
yeah,
We're stronger than all of that, to
right.
be able to have that awareness that I can literally clear that fear out of my energy field. And then I don't have to worry about it anymore because it's just gone. And I
Yeah.
don't think any of those thoughts that are connected to that energy of fear.
I think a lot of people though don't understand that they have it, or they don't know even how to they don't even know how to express it, right? They know they have it, but they don't know why, where, what. They
Right?
don't know, right? It's an unknown origin of fear.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
like, I don't know what it is.
Yep. It's the invisible walls of the
Yeah,
prison.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, we're here to take those walls down. We're here
Mhm,
to really see through the fear. We're here to see our light and our power and take that power back and
mhm,
start to clear away all of those patterns and stop participating in the things that insult us,
mhm.
you know?
Truly, yes, that insult us. Because if we don't create that change, like we said earlier, that change It's just not created. If we don't start with change, it's not going to change. And then what happens is you look at the, you know, the time frame of what's going to happen if we don't make change. What's going to happen in 3 years from now? Where are you going to be? Right? Are you going to be optimal? Probably not. You're going to be either where you are right now, or you're going to feel even more crummy. Right? Symptomology is going to kick in, more emotions are going to kick in. But if you can start with one thing, one simple little thing, you know, closing your eyes, listening to some, you know, some music. Close your eyes and just listen to music and let it feel where it feels in your body. That is a change,
Yes.
right? Walking outside. I'm not kidding you. Every time I travel, my husband is like, oh boy, here we go. I'm not kidding you. The second I get off a plane, the first tree I find, I'm hugging it.
Yeah.
I'm hugging it. I'm like, I gotta ground myself after being in that plane for, you know,
Yes.
30 minutes or 15 hours. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm just like, babe, I gotta find a tree. He's like, oh, I mean, he just knows now. He just knows. If it's the hotel, it's the most convenient tree I can find. And if it's something small, you know, I just go wrap my hands around it, but I'm just like, it's part of that. It's part of little changes like that. Walk outside, touch your tree, ground yourself, you know, say hello to your neighbor. Those are changes.
Yes.
Those are just little changes, and little changes can add up to big changes. So it doesn't have to be overwhelming for people.
Right. Yeah. You know, I love that, you know, you're talking about the grounding, you know, and we talked earlier about, you know, everything is energy, and it's electrical energy. And these currents of energy, like fear, is a highly charged energy.
Mm-hmm.
Guilt, shame, blame are charged, negatively
Natively.
charged
Mm-hmm.
energies.
Mm-hmm.
And when our circuitry is being overloaded with negatively charged energy, our bodies react to that.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's just like having your finger in the socket, you know, if you put your finger in the electrical socket, your body is going to react.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, anything like that. I love the Roby chart. The Roby chart is incredible. You know, it just shows you, like, if you have anger, right? Most of us know that is liver, right? So those vibrations and patterns oftentimes do go to an organ. So if you've got
Yes,
an organ that's acting up, you got to tap into why. What's the emotion behind it that's creating the physical ailment to be disrupted or displaced?
exactly. You know, every people don't realize that every body part is designed to process a specific energy,
Mhm,
a specific thought pattern.
mhm.
So if we look at what's going on in the body, we can then see, oh, here's the energetic pattern that needs to be resolved.
That's right. And you know, you can do it so easily by we've all heard of a little bit of tapping, right?
Mhm.
Singing, humming, dancing, like you create your own vibration.
Yes.
Talking,
Yes.
you know, creating that own vibration here in the third chakra. I mean, it's so powerful.
Yes. You know, and we can choose our vibration.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
we literally have the ability, you know, when I was really at the bottom of the barrel, you know, somebody said, you know, well, you can just be happy. I was like, I can't just be happy. There's nothing to be happy about. You know? And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden somebody said, well, have you ever been happy? I'm like, well, yes. I was like, all right, well, can you remember that time? You know, and I just got quiet and I thought, yeah, I can remember that. And it's like, well, can you just imagine that you're in that moment right now so that you can just start to feel that? And it's like, yeah. And I was like, uh, oh, I can actually be happy right now. No matter what's going on around me, I could actually choose happy simply by placing my attention there. It's like, wow,
I know. Isn't that I mean, so eye-opening, so mind-opening, so everything opening.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So then I started to more consciously choose my vibration. It's like,
Hmm.
all right, so I'm feeling a little down today. All right, well, let me just quiet myself. Let me tune in and let me tune up my vibration a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me just tune back into the universe around me, into source, and let me just gather some source energy and bring myself back into harmony with the universe. Oh, that feels a lot better,
Better. I feel
right?
so much lighter. Yes, exactly.
Yes. It's like doing something as simple as that on a daily
Yes.
basis changes everything.
Changes everything. Back to the change. Back to that one simple little change that can make such a huge difference.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
it's like it's our own technology.
Hmm.
It's like our
Hmm.
consciousness is our technology. It's like
Yep.
it's how we tune in to the universe. It's like the universe is a gigantic television of infinite possibilities.
Yes.
And here on this planet, we just get tuned in to the possibilities that they show us on the news or,
Yes.
in the movies. And it's like, all right, so we're just focused here. What if we focus out more? Let's open our focus so that
Hmm.
we can see all the other possibilities that are available for us to choose from.
Yeah, and the beauty around us. Absolutely.
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly. Like life actually can be really, really simple. You know,
Simple and fun.
yes.
We
You know,
just have to tune into that. We have to those remember those little tuners where you'd have to find a specific station, but you'd have to like do it so minutely, like to get like you're like, okay, it's not staticky right now. Don't nobody touch it. It's
right?
perfect,
Yeah,
right? Kind of
exactly.
what we have to do. We have to decide to kind of go in and fine tune, like, okay, today it's a matter of choosing what you're gonna eat for lunch, right? Is this gonna serve me or is this serving an emotion or is this serving, you know, powerful energy in my body? What is it gonna serve? What am I looking for? It is even as simple yet as I don't want to call it stressful because it's not stressful, but you get to make the choice, right? It's choices just like that you get to choose. So choose what is going to up level your health and wellness for that day.
Exactly. We have so much power in our choice.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
What clothes are you gonna wear? Right?
exactly. It's like, what are we going to focus on? Are we going to focus on the chaos and confusion around us and just
Right.
amplify that?
Right.
Or are we going to tune in to ourselves and what we wish to create and start
Hmm.
focusing forward on what it is that we'd like to experience?
Hmm.
We're so taught to be in reaction mode and we're just reacting to everything around us. And then we think that we're stuck by the stuff that's happening around us.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
no, we're creating what's around us.
That's exactly right. And we're also creating that survival mode piece, that reaction. But it is our natural way of survival. It's a
Right.
tiger that's chasing us that's not really there, but we perceive it to be there.
Mhm. Yeah. And when we realize that we're not here to survive, we're here to
Yeah,
live.
absolutely. I mean, it's so interesting. I actually think about this. We were at Jackson Lake this last weekend, and there we had within our it's called Coulter Bay. Within the bay, we've had at the very beginning, before we were able to put the boats in the water, there was a black bear and her three little cubs.
Mm.
So beautiful. I mean, we watched them obviously from afar, eating all the little clover and doing their thing, but they've moved on. They've gone further into the woods. They're getting a little bit bigger and need to go. And so we take a walk around the loop of the lake shore every morning before we go out on the lake. And we were walking, and they have if there's a bear around, it's closed, like, because obviously you don't want to be walking around with bears. So we were walking around this the loop, and my dog was just acting weird. She's just never done that. And I thought to myself, what is it? I'm looking around, I don't see anything. And I had no fear. I was like, no fear. We kept walking, and we got back, and we crossed along this little plat to get back to the other side. And the lady was like, oh my gosh, did you not just see? You just walked past the 3 bears. And I was like, no, I didn't. But had I known they were there, I would have created my own fear and been like, what are we going to do? Oh my gosh, how do we turn around? You know what I mean? And I would have put off this energy that would have been self-sabotaging, perhaps scaring the bear, perhaps scaring my dogs. There just could have been this mayhem of negativity that went on.
Right.
But because I didn't have that in my head, I didn't have the ego, I didn't have the reason to have or create my own fear around it. I was like, oh, we did? I want to go back and see. They're like, no, you don't, but so they were like, she was right next to you. But I have
Wow.
no fear about it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And this is part of that programming too.
that's right.
We have
Yes,
been programmed to fear the bears. And
right.
just like you said, as soon as we emit fear, then they go, whoa, what are you afraid about? And then they go into the fear thing. And then it's like, whoa, then
Yeah.
whole
Yep.
thing that happens.
Then everybody goes into survival mode, and that's just an unpleasant situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just thought that was interesting. Like, I didn't have fear because I didn't know I needed to have fear,
Exactly.
which kept everything cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah,
You know?
indeed.
Yeah. So
Wow. It's
one of
amazing.
those little oh moments.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's like, do we actually need to be afraid of the bears?
Right.
Really,
Maybe
we
perhaps
don't,
we don't.
right? They
We
don't
need
want
to.
to interact with us. They don't want to
Right.
have an altercation any more than
No.
we do.
No, exactly. It's so us humans tend to put ourselves inside of that bubble of 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 n- the lack of safety, whatever, right? I mean, if you're going to be 20 feet from the bear and you are aware of it, and you stop and you look and you make eye contact and you do all the things, well, you're asking for it at that point, right? But you just, without having that, and you're just moving right along, you'll be fine.
Exactly. There's so much programming that we have all received, and most of it is negative programming about
Yeah.
the nature around us because there's an agenda to keep us separated from nature.
Yeah.
So,
It's that ego piece as well.
yeah, I
I
talk
mean, it really is. And,
about
I see that with bioresonance work, because when you're taking care of a young child, or you're taking care of an animal, you don't have, all the questions. You don't have all that, well, it's not working. It's like, you see the physical changes that happen, because they're not, they're going with the flow of it, right? They're not disrupting the energy aspect.
wow. So, Jennifer, this has been such a great conversation. Thank you so
Oh my
much.
gosh, absolutely. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So how we use our own technology, our own consciousness, where are we going to focus our technology? Where are we going to put our powers of perception to really bring ourselves back into health and balance? So you are in Jackson, Wyoming. So if people want to reach out to you, how do they find you?
Yep. So the couple ways, Jennifer Hawks Health is my handle for everything, website and all my social media handles. And then if you are looking for any kind of future gut health support, I do have a new program coming out, and you can go to the revitalizedgut.com to get on that VIP wait list.
Beautiful. And if you are watching on YouTube, just check out the show notes. And the same with Connecting You to You Radio, just check out the show notes and all the links will be there. So this has been such a beautiful conversation. We always love having these conversations to see how we can open up consciousness and spread new awareness around this planet and empower everyone to remember that you have the power. You, the grand being of light you are, the soul, is the solution. So thank you all for watching today. I'm Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing, now in its 10th anniversary edition. And you can find me at connectingyoutoyou.com. Thanks so much, Jennifer. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much as well.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Till next week, create for yourselves a great week. Bye for now.